Perfect. All right. So we
All
are now
right.
live. Um, Rocketeers, welcome to another session. Again, this time with amazing people on board. They launched recently on RocketHub, and this is one day which we were eyeing for since a long time. Because these guys are amazing. If you go and look at their social, it's buzzing with content. The website is active with blog posts. Their founders are very much active discussing social media and podcasting on all the social channels you can imagine. Um, they're also working towards revolutionizing the social media as we see today and making sure that AI is used very well to create a content and raise awareness about your brand, get more engagement and sales. So welcome Team Highperformr. We have Ramesh, Mani, and few other members from the team. So Ramesh, Mani, and everyone, welcome. We are very much proud to have you guys, and thank you for taking out time from a busy schedule.
Thank you, Karan. There's no better joy than talking to folks from the community. This is great, right? These are the best calls we can ever get on to, right? So it's it's fantastic that we've been a part of this community, and also to try and showcase our products and more, in the longer term, associate ourselves with people who really believe in the whole idea of being socially present. And so that gives me great pleasure. So thank you very much, Karan. I also have with me from my team, Mani. Uh, Mani is part of the customer onboarding, and we also have Abhishek and Shruti. Shruti takes care of the community. She is the community manager for Highperformr, and Abhishek is part of the sales team. So we have quite a few representatives from Highperformr today. So feel free to bombard us with any kind of questions that you want to ask, and hopefully we have the right answers for you, right?
Also, you have guys from all the departments. So you have sales team, you have content team, you have product team, and you have founding team. So that's amazing.
That's
That's the
right.
dynamic thing we look forward to. And congrats, so everyone who doesn't know, the High Performer got funded recently, the seed round. And it was great news that came in right before the launch because this is a very, very credible information, credible thing, which means everyone is trusting that High Performer will take the leap and they're putting their stakes in the founders and the team members. So Ramesh and Shri is not here with us on the call, but she is another branch of High Performer. So we look forward to talking to him as well, but we'll get started with our session. So Ramesh, we also told everyone that your history has been great. You come from Freshworks. So please go ahead and tell us about your journey and team's journey and how did you guys come to think about the idea of High Performer?
All right, thank you for that question. So, diving in straight, right? My name is Ramesh Ravishankar. I am the co-founder of Highperformr. Highperformr was not just is not like a thought that just said okay, we are from Freshworks, we can do it, so let's do it, right? It's very hard uh, to redo something that you have done, which was sponsored by someone else versus doing it yourself, right? So I'm sure all of you are clearly know that. So the backstory goes a little bit about myself. I am the GTM guy. So I started my career selling bicycles back in the day. That was more than 20 years back, 20 years back. Then I sold payphones for a living. Uh, Always believed in the concept of distribution, sales and distribution, because distribution always gave, I always wondered how good products can be distributed, right? And all of these companies that I've worked with had a distribution network, be it dealers, be it distributors. And it's amazing, like every consumer durable company, it's the distribution that takes the company to the next level, right? That's by far in B2C companies. Now, there was a shift when I joined Google. Now, Google is a fantastic company because surely because of the distribution it's had, right? Of course, they peaked. They had one blockbuster of a product called AdWords, but everyone needed it, right? So if you have to grow and if you weren't on AdWords, you were probably losing out. But that was 15 years back. If you see the trend right now, everyone is probably looking at Google for the cafe nearby and not necessarily diving deep. Now that's the shift. Every 10 years, there is a new shift that's happening, and AI has completely spoiling Google's party out there as far as search is concerned. So in between, what happened between Google and Hyperformer was Freshworks, where I was taking care of the entire inbound marketing, kind of looking at. So we looked at the problem from a marketer's view. Now, the CMO or any senior marketer, their worry is to increase their pipeline. Like, how do I get better pipeline for my sales folks to go and close? Conversion rates aren't going to change overnight, right? You can't say, well, you're planning on, you can't say, okay, this year I did 10% conversion rate. Let's assume it's 12%. It's not going to happen. The more butts on seat, the more leads, the conversion rate actually comes down, right? So conversion rates aren't increasing. On top of that, resources are expensive, right? Now, when I say resources, you probably, Google auctions are expensive, so you can't put that kind of money that you used to probably do. But every CMO has to build their pipeline, and that's for the salesperson, for the sales folks to go and close. There are various ways in which companies are tackling this, right? Some of them are saying, hey, your website has, you can get so much from your website. You go, but here is where Shri and I kind of flip the whole funnel, where we said every other company is going to sell to the 5% at the bottom of the funnel who have a commercial intent to buy right now. And that's why search did so well, right? You're searching with an intent to go and buy right now. And every SaaS company who's wanting to sell to their ICP, to their ideal customer profile, are going there, participating just to sell. But that is very flaky because one, you don't own that audience, right? Today they may try a product, tomorrow they may get bored, they may look at something else, and you can't have, there are only so much of niche that you can go behind for creating products. It's not going to last. That's not a relationship that's going to last. But what if we flip the funnel to say, hey, there is a 95% on top of that 5% who probably don't have a commercial intent to buy right now. But what is going to keep them sticky is relationship. There is engagement. And we said, social has this ability to engage. You don't have to buy it. Like, just because I love what you're doing, I put a comment out there, or I engage with an emoji, doesn't mean I'm interested in buying, right? The moment you see continuous engagement happening is when you think, wow, okay, there is a possibility that I could reach out to them, or they would reach out to me to say, hey, I've been looking at a post, I like what you're doing, can you tell me more? And that inbound comes with way more credibility, way lesser cost. There's a lot of engagement history in the past, and the chances of you selling is probably much higher. And that's what social gives us. Adding to that, is also about the fact of saying social also has the ability. All the companies are creating a lot of content. Everyone wants to be a HubSpot, right? And there is just SEO as your only tool to say, I want to rank. You can't rank them. If you're a new company, your domain rating is low. That's the fundamental. You can't compete with the HubSpot there, right? In terms of content. So what's the other way to kind of increase that over a period of time? Social has this innate ability where you can have just a small piece of content to pique an interest. Put that out there. You have a blog, get the gist of it, plonk it there. You have the ability to go into a first comment, and here is the link of the blog, and you create your own distribution channels. If your audience is going to like it, they're going to come back to you. And again, social provides for that ability. Otherwise, everyone is writing blog for Google. No one writing blog for the sake of reading, right? When I say everyone is writing blog for Google, Google understands the algorithm. Everyone knows, oh, if there is a blog, which means there is a story, and maybe that's real. So there is a chance that Google will. But again, right? So that's the whole story of how we came into Hyperformr. Why we said everyone has to be socially present, and if you have to be socially present, you need a content strategy. And for a content strategy, you already have a lot of content. How can Hyperformr really help you perform better on social? And that's how we came with the whole idea of distributing your content extremely well. And over a period of time, with engagement with your audience, you should be able to create a better pipeline. I know it's a very long answer to your very short question, but that's the thesis with which we started Highperformr.
No, no. That's important, right? Because you set a premise that what's the reason, purpose behind it? Because of course, the normal audience when they see it high performance, they would say, okay, we have social tools, but what's your story, right? What's your reason? You see, which means you see that pipeline and lead generation and businesses not able to sell to the 5% right now because they've already been targeted a lot. But what if you can target the 95% and then sell later? So basically, you are including the sales angle to the social angle, mixing it together, which makes sense because otherwise people always ask the question, right? I'm posting on social media but I'm not getting leads. What's the
Yeah,
purpose of it? You will get leads. It takes time, but you need to have a right tool in the right place to kind of make it happen in the long term, right? So social is a
absolutely.
long term game.
And the good part, the timing piece of it, Karan, is very right now, right? There are two or three things that are working in favor. One is just from a premise perspective, the next generation of buyers and sellers are on social, right? You look for proof. If I'm going to speak to Karan today, I go back and look at who is this Karan, like what's his background. Now, if I don't see any latest post coming from Karan, right? That's my
Notice.
first. Like this happens to a current, it could happen to a brand, it could happen to the leader, it could happen to the founder, it could happen to the sales rep. Now, if the sales rep is not active, you probably are not even interested. Hey, I don't even know who the guy is. Like, he's probably not even talking in line with what I want. And that's social proof as well, right? So that's another thing. The next generation of buyers and sellers are going to be on social. Gen AI makes it
Hmm.
really easy to get a content strategy working for you. See, one of the bigger things that we also focused while starting Highperformr, or when we spoke to people, hey, I have a lot of content, but I'm scared to put it out there, right? I don't know if people will judge me for my content, or sometimes I don't even have time to put that much. So we said, hey, we'll create a workflow for you. We'll create enough content for you to just say, I'm ready to go, right? And that's the whole idea of also saying it's just not one tool. It is something that will make you, your team, actually be onboarded onto social, be adopting social much better than what you're doing right now.
Sense. Yeah, yeah, and of course the team angle is very big. So if you have a big team size, it becomes easy. You don't have to do a lot of to and fro. Yeah, everyone is on board in the product. You have everyone there leaving comments, approving it, declining it, or giving suggestions. So you don't
Absolutely.
have to go through any Google Sheets. You don't have to go through any emails. You don't have to go through any Google Docs. So which means your multiple tabs and multiple operations just hang on in one software. That's it. So that's why I even look at it, in that perspective.
Yep.
Great. Amazing. I think that's a good thing. Ramesh, thank you so much for sharing the purpose behind starting Highperformr. And now let's deep dive into the product. That's what the audience wants, the meat.
All
So
right.
we give them the meat. All right. So Mani, our superstar, is over here, kind of waiting. When can we start? Okay. Now is the time. Come on, go ahead.
Great, great. Thank you, Karan. Thanks for the intro. Thanks, Ramesh, for setting the premise. And it's wonderful to meet the audience. Lovely to see great participation from the audience as well and the community members. We're looking forward to having a extended relationship as well with you all in the form of helping you get onboarded inside Highperformr as well, right? So let me, without further ado, share my screen and you can also pop in your questions. I've been looking at your questions as well. Please feel free to add your questions and then we'll pick it up. If needed, I can also
Yes.
answer them live or I can also
Yeah, we'll,
type in the
yeah,
answers.
we can do one thing. You can set your questions in the Q&A box and we discuss each and every question so that we have a detailed answer, and you are ready to kind of just go ahead and buy the product. You don't need to like do a to and fro. So this way you have everything you need, right? So great money. Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's go ahead.
Awesome. I hope everyone's able to see my screen. Karan, that's visible, right?
Yes, yes, yes. It's with it.
Perfect. So, like Karan and Shri have been mentioning, Ramesh have been mentioning, right? I mean, Highperformr is available in three different versions or plans. Whether you are an individual content creator or a solopreneur who's looking to be socially present, right? In terms of trying to elevate your presence, then you could very well go ahead and use our pro plan, right? Pro lifetime plan. And then we also have team as well as agency. So the good part is we as a product in the market compared to our competitors, irrespective of whether you're an individual or a team or an agency or even a B2B company for that matter, we allow you to go ahead and use our tool to its fullest, right? So everybody will have their own fair share to get out of the tool from your side to elevate your social presence and also move in the direction of generating leads, right? So that's ultimately what Ramesh was also explaining. So with that premise in place, the very first screen that you're able to see is, again, there is going to be some overlaps in terms of pro people can take whatever an individual can actually do. And team is going to be slightly different, where you have team members who can be brought inside Highperformr from a collaboration standpoint. But apart from that, any AI settings that you see or automations that you see, everything is going to be available in our pro, team, as well as agency plans. So what you're seeing is our team space, where you could invite your team members in case, let's say, you have a content creator or a team member or co-founder of yours with whom you need to collaborate and get the content published on a regular basis. You're able to invite them inside Highperformr, and you're able to provide them with different roles. You can bring in external collaborators as well from your side. And if you want to bring in your content creators, they can help you generate the content. It could be more from your marketing team standpoint as well, where you can bring in and they can help you generate content along with our AI as well. We do have our models that can help generate content ideas, using which you can generate the content, and then that can be distributed wisely by all the team members. And you also do have a publisher role who will have the capability to publish not only across different social channels, but they also will be in a position to do brand social, founder social, leadership social, in terms of them publishing on behalf of any other people once they've given the opt-in or consent from their side, right? So that gives you flexibility in terms of, let's say, you as a founder, if you're traveling and if you want posts to be consistently published, that is going to be the key. Consistently showing your presence in terms of, hey, I'm talking about this particular problem that is happening in social. That is what will kind of keep your audience intact and also get more engagement, right? So that consistency can be managed inside Highperformr using different collaboration techniques. And of course, the admin can manage the whole of the workspace. We do also go one notch up, where you have the approval mechanism available, where if any post that needs to be published and if you want that to be validated by, let's say, your brand communications marketing manager or whoever it is, then you're able to get that approved. And that goes the same, the vice versa as well. If a content writer or, let's say, a social media manager needs to publish something on behalf of the founder or the leadership team, or even from an employee advocacy standpoint, then those posts can be shared with the respective team members. They can have that approved. Only then those posts are going to be published. That way, we cover all the lengths and breadths of the roles and permissions in terms of how you can manage your team. If you have any questions, feel free to pop it up and I can pick it up. But the next interesting bit I wanted to show is going to be our AI settings. This is again going to be common for all the 3 plans that we have got to offer. And this is also something that we consider it to be pretty unique as compared to our competitors. Yes, there are some competitors who are kind of providing you with some posts that have been generated by influencers, or that have been posted by those influencers, which you want to probably recreate, right? Probably those posts have gone viral because it was posted by that particular person of that stature. But what you essentially need is, hey, as a person, I have my own ways of writing in terms of my tonality, my writing style. I talk about a particular set of topics. That is what we are focused on in terms of helping you get all your topics and which audience you want to cater to as well, right? And me as a leader, me as a director of a software company, and who talks about all and anything and everything related to product management, and my audience are going to be startup founders or peer product managers. I essentially want my ideas that are going to be generated to be resonating to these audiences along the topics that I have provided right over here. And I can also define my writing style. I want to be casual. At the same time, I want to be as engaging as possible while I try to put something on LinkedIn, right? And it also needs to be inspirational. I need people to follow me in terms of trying to get some cues out of it. And it also needs to be factual and informative. So all these kind of details you're able to choose as part of your style and tonality. And you can, in fact, we go one notch up where we allow you to add some of the RSS feeds as well. I, on a daily basis, spend 15 to 20 minutes reading some of these blog articles and news articles. We will constantly keep an eye on these articles from our side to draw some inspiration, and any new blogs that are going to be added or news that are going to be added in these sources, we will source it for you, and we'll get the post ideas to be generated based on the tonality, based on the writing style, based on the topics that you have provided over here, right? So it's a combination of different models that are working in the background. We use ChatGPT. We also use Google Gemini. We also use Llama. And more importantly, we have gotten early bird access to Grok as well, where 150K plus people are actually waiting in the queue to get access to Grok. And we are fortunate because of the premium connect that we have with Grok, we are able to have this established from our side in terms of trying to help you generate the right content with reliability, efficiency, and speed as well.
Okay, I
Right?
think that's the good news because Grok has a funny side also, right? They have funny things. I think that will be able to have some more humor that AI can generate. So yeah, that's a good thing. Awesome.
Absolutely. You can also add sarcasm as well as part of your writing tone, right? So we kind of have covered all the bases from our side so that we can get the right content from right models. So now that you've set up your content sources, and of course you can set up your subreddits as well. We also try to get the most authentic news from Reddit, where you're able to get these content ideas generated and then kind of provide it to you. Somebody has asked the question in Q&A where are we having any plans to integrate with Reddit and Quora, right? Of course, with Reddit,
Yeah,
yes,
I've answered that.
you have answered. Perfect.
You
Right.
can
So
show
now
them
that
these.
you,
Yeah, you can
yeah,
show them the
Yeah,
credits.
yeah. Correct. So what I can do, what we do is, of course, yeah, let's say whatever Ramesh has answered, we just kind of have a question, read it out again. So people who couldn't read this, they would be able to understand that what we're talking about. So yeah, that's good.
awesome. Perfect. So now that you've seen AI settings for one particular profile, and this is also going to be specific to individual social profiles. You could have your Twitter handle, you could have your LinkedIn handle, you could also have your company LinkedIn profile as well, right? So you can have three different tonalities, style, and sources for which you need to generate ideas. Let's say in this particular person's Twitter, this person talks a lot about cryptocurrency or blockchain, etc. And he targets investors and crypto investors, right? And he has got his own types of sources in terms of from where these Bitcoin related news or cryptocurrency related news needs to be generated, right? So you are able to provide all these content sources. Yes, it's a one-time activity, and you let the model give some time in terms of let's say 2 to 3 weeks for it to try and understand what type of posts you're publishing on a regular basis, what ideas you're actually using that are being generated by the model. That way, if you give that time and if you constantly kind of keep generating these post ideas, then our model is going to be helping you be the best co-pilot that you could ever have to generate these ideas and then start publishing on a consistent basis. That is the key here, because lack of content idea is what is not allowing you to be consistent. If you have those ample of ideas in front of you, then more likely you're going to be consistent in terms of publishing 5 times or 6 times a week from your side, irrespective of the channel that you're going to be in. Now that you've seen how we are setting up the AI settings, all the post ideas are going to be available right over here. And on a daily basis, we let you generate anywhere between 2 to 10 ideas that you can choose from your side. You can choose whether if you want 2 ideas to be generated. That is again going to be specific to individual social profiles that you can manage it as part of our automations right over here, where you can set up whether you want 2 ideas or 5 ideas or 10 ideas to be generated as part of the automation. I'll talk about the remaining automations in a while, but since we are here, you have the capability to generate 2 ideas or 5 ideas from your side. And if I want any new ideas based on the topics that I have provided, I can simply click on it. And if I wait for a couple of minutes, then the new ideas are going to be popped up as well. But in the meantime, let's say I like this particular idea, I want to add it to my draft. And draft is going to be a clean place where you only have the drafts that you're currently working on, the posts that you really want to publish. Because ideas is a place where you will have all the ideas to be poured in. and drafts are going to be the place where you will have all the drafts kind of available, right? So you could see here a post that I have got in front of you where I can add links to it. I can upload images. I can also upload PDFs, which will eventually be turned into carousels when it is going to be published. And I also have the capability to upload the OG image as well in case if I want a high resolution image to be updated for this particular link as part of the image upload. All these can be done. You also have instant AI interaction in terms of whether I want to make it crisp or I want to fix the spelling or if I want to make it more professional. You can also provide custom GPT prompts as well right over here in terms of trying to give some prompts to the AI to help kind of generate whatever you want. If you want to include a particular topic idea or if you want to exclude something, you can provide all these details as part of the prompt right over here. And our GPT and the models will help you kind of generate more fine-tuned version for you if that is required. And for teams and agency people, if you want to constantly engage or collaborate with some of your clients as well as with your colleagues, then you really need not to copy the content, put it into a Word document, have that shared with them, get that post approved before you could publish them, right? This is going to be a painful job. We want to solve for that where we allow you to have all this collaboration happening right inside the tool. And when I mean by that, you have the capability to quickly go ahead and add somebody from your team to check the content. And this instantaneously will trigger an email notification to this person so that they will be apprised about looking at this particular post from their side and adding their fair share of thoughts. And in addition to that, you also have the capability to share this particular post with some of your team members to get it kind of verified from a content standpoint, or if you want some design aspects to be added to that particular post. You can also create a public link as well with people who can also then contribute from a content standpoint in terms of sharing what content needs to be added or what needs to be removed. And to also make it more interesting, we do have the approval mechanism where you can ask for an approval from the people where you have already set up in terms of who can approve your posts. You can provide all these details right over here. You can add the members who have the capability to approve your particular post. And once you've asked for the approval, you also have the capability to quickly go ahead and schedule it. And I've set it up for Saturday 8 a.m. And in case, let's say that person with whom I have asked for this particular post to be approved, if that person doesn't approve, then this post is not going to be published. Only if they approve it and only if that post has got that approval from that particular person, this post will be published. If not, then this will be sitting inside the failed post section for you to go back, review it again, and then have that approved before you could reschedule it for the next time. Right? That way, you will have control in terms of what approved posts are going to be published inside your LinkedIn and Twitter. You also have the capability to do cross-posting. This is also something that is really handy for people who are going to be publishing it across different social channels and social profiles as well. If it is going to be less than 280 characters and if it matches your Twitter profile handles character limit as well, then that is something that you're able to go ahead and do it across different platforms. But otherwise, you can also publish it across different LinkedIn profiles in case if you want to give a more amplified version of a particular event that a company is hosting, or from an agency standpoint, if they need to publish it across different profiles, etc. Right? So you are able to go ahead and do that using our cross-posting. And one other interesting fact is that, let's say, as part of my cross-posting, I can also make changes to each and every individual social profiles posts. That way, when it is going to be published, it is going to be published with the edited post for this particular profile as compared to what it is going to be for the other profile, where it is going to be having the actual content, right? So you're able to mix and match, you're able to edit from what particular post handle what needs to be published. And that level of management is something that you're able to do inside Hyperformr. So now that we have seen how we are able to generate ideas, how we are able to go ahead and discuss those and collaborate with your team members, Ramesh also briefly did mention that how you are also able to get ideas from, let's say, a blog, if you are looking to kind of get a crisp highlights of the blogs that you're going to be using, right, from your side. So what you can do is, I have got a blog in front of me. Our model helps you kind of break down this particular blog by just providing a URL link, and it kind of gives a two-way interaction with you in terms of how you can generate post ideas using our blog generator, right? So you can provide the URL, and that will essentially allow you to, just a minute, kind of got stuck. You can also do Google search as well from your side in terms of trying to get some latest news as well from your side. And this is now analyzing my input. It'll try to get 3 relevant topics that are discussed in this particular blog, from which I can probably choose one of the topics. Let's say I want to talk about master LinkedIn marketing today, right? And if I choose that particular topic, then it'll ask me with leading questions in terms of what are all the components that I need to include as part of the post idea that is going to be generated. Again, we call it as an idea. We are not really calling it as a post, because there definitely should be a human element that needs to be added at the end of the day. You need to, of course, verify. We generate you with ideas, content ideas that you can then take use from. 80% of the job is done by creating these ideas. And then you can make small changes based on whatever necessary changes that you need to make, and then you can go ahead and publish it, right? So let's say I want to include all these parameters. I want to highlight the importance of optimizing LinkedIn profiles, and I also want to talk about the benefits of using LinkedIn's publishing platform. And I was also talking about the AI settings that comes into play here, because each of these profiles are going to be having different AI settings. And the post ideas that are going to be generated are all going to be super specific to these individual profiles. I choose this person, Manigandan, and let's say I also choose probably Srivatsan for that matter. They both are going to be having different AI settings from their side. And if I click on continue, it will then generate me with 2 different versions of the same blog post that can be published, one by Manigandan, other by Srivatsan, right? So that is the level of modeling that we are doing in terms of how we want to help you generate with the content ideas. And
This
this
is
again,
next level collaboration. If I have to summarize, like collaboration in multiverse. So if someone has another interest, and then you're matching it with this thing. So yeah, this is amazing. I think that's why I wanted to show it to everyone. And when we are giving the replay out, we definitely mention that to watch out for this particular section, because that's where many people are not on the same um, you know level, right? They have multiple disagreements when it comes to social. What should go on, what shouldn't. So amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah. Good. Sorry.
no worries. And this particular feature is also something we also wanted to share our kind of a roadmap as well, right, as to what we are building. This is something that we kind of will be launching in the coming weeks or month, right? But ideally, essentially, this is the direction we are moving in, where to make people's life easy in terms of trying to generate these content ideas. And you could see here that there are 2 versions available. One more from Srivatsan's standpoint, and the other is going to be more from my standpoint. You could see that they both are going to be different in terms of how the content ideas are going to be generated, right? And then you can pick it up right from here. You can save it to your drafts, and then you can kind of rework on it, and then have that scheduled to be published on a particular date from your side, right? So now that you've seen how you can work as a team or as an individual, how you can leverage our AI, how collaboration kind of works inside Highperformr, how you can get approval, all these things. Once that is done, you also need a bit of automation, right? As part of LinkedIn publishing, you also have the capability to add your first comment from your side, right? So you can add your first comment. You could have CTAs to be added from your side, or if you want to give any giveaways that you need to kind of have it added, then you can add them as part of your first comment. That is one automation that we have. Cross posting is the other automation that we have. We also allow you to auto repost all your posts across both LinkedIn as well as Twitter. So the automation settings that you're able to see is going to be specific to individual social profiles. So one person might want to repost, or one profile might need reposting, but the other post might necessarily not needing any reposting. So you can you can have the flexibility to set up your auto reposting time as well from your side based on the audiences you need to target. You can delay the threads for your Twitter as well. We also do allow you to create tweet threads from our side. You could see here, it's a quick glimpse of allowing you to add tweet threads from your side. And if you want the first thread to be delayed by, let's say, a couple of minutes, then that is something that you're able to manage as part of the automation that we have. I'm sorry, I lost track of the tab. But yeah, you could see here that you're able to manage your thread by delaying it by, let's say, a couple of minutes, so that it'll ensure that this particular post at least is going to be there on top of the feed, at least for the time all the threads are going to be published from your side. Right. And last but not the least, you also have the AI settings or the drafts that are going to be generated by AI. You have the capability to choose anywhere between 2 to 10 post ideas to be generated on a daily basis. Right. So now that you've seen all these elements, you really will be interested in knowing, hey, what type of content is actually working, how my growth funnel has been, right? So you definitely would be interested in terms of trying to understand how our analytics is going to be panned out. Again, we are doing a very data intensive analytics job here. This is something that not many of our competitors are also providing, where we give in-depth analysis in terms of what is working for you well, where you could probably improve from let's say a content standpoint or consistency standpoint. We kind of allow you to provide all these insights from our side. So you can see your growth funnel, how many posts have been published, what has been the impression rate, engagement rate, how many new followers you've gained in the last 7 days. And you also have our AI coach providing some insights to you, what's been working, what's not been working, how you can diversify your content types, etc. You can see some of your recent post insights right from here. Again, this is going to be super specific to individual social profiles. I could see one for my Twitter, I could see the other for my LinkedIn as well. I could see the other for my LinkedIn company page also. That way, you have the flexibility to switch between different profiles to understand what type of content is working for what platform. And again, see, these algorithms are all super complex, right? If we know what type of content works, then everybody is going to be publishing the same type of content. That is not the case. Consistency is a key. And to an extent, yes, you can get some inference from analytics like us, where what type of media engagement is working. If I add images, then I could see that 52% of my engagement has been for the posts that have been published with images. So these kind of inferences might help me to add images as part of my posts that I'm going to be publishing. And as I've been speaking for a while about this particular topic, consistency again is going to be super key, where you can see for how many days you've been kind of consistently publishing. And this is a tracker that would help you kind of determine that. And you can see your followers gained and lost. That is again specific to individual social profiles. More importantly, we also provide you with, unlike our other competitors who blindly give you a date and time saying, hey, Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock is the right time for you to go ahead and publish. How did they arrive at that? I don't understand, right? But clearly you could see from here that Monday mornings, none of them are going to be actually active on LinkedIn. You could see here that it's pretty evident. None of the people have been engaging on our post. This is the Highperformr account that you're seeing, where none of them actually interact until 4 p.m., right? Because they're all going to be super busy with their work because it's the start of the week. And then I could see a surge in terms of people starting to engage on our posts Monday evening at 5 o'clock. So this gives you an indication in terms of what time of the day, what day of the week I'm actually getting more engagements. Depending on that, you can then go ahead and schedule your post that needs to be published. And this, you will be able to see this particular tracker once you've consistently started publishing for like 2 to 4 weeks inside Highperformr. And then slowly all these will start cropping up in front of you. Our model will then try to understand when you've been consistently publishing, and then it will start kind of populating with these data points. If you're using for a week, and then if you kind of come to us and say that, hey, this is not working for us, of course, the model might take 2 to 4 weeks, as I've mentioned earlier. You need to keep consistently publishing for us to then understand what time of the day you've been getting more engagements and what day of the week you've been getting these engagements. Finally, you also will be able to see some of your top posts. There is a reason why that particular post might have got a lot of impressions. It could be because the content has been really good. It would have been very engaging. Or probably it could also be the timing in which you have kind of put up, right? So there are multiple factors, and you could take a decent amount of inference from the in-depth analytics that we are going to be providing, unless like or any other competitors who simply kind of provide you with some figures and say that, hey, this is what your growth has been, and trying to pummel you and trying to kind of give you a fact where, okay, if you keep kind of posting, then you're going to be getting more traction, right? So that is not the case. You need some kind of inferences like how we are providing to understand what is working to an extent, and then try to kind of replicate that in the future, right? So I think that is pretty much all I kind of had to kind of provide as a demo from my side. Once again, thanks a lot for the opportunity. I think it has been wonderful talking to you all or meeting you all. One quick kind of slide that I wanted to also show is that, hey, we've been getting some queries from people that they have not been able to reach out to us. There are different channels from where you can actually reach out to us. Of course, we are all based out of India. We'll try to be as responsive as possible from our side, where you can reach out to us through our Discord channel. Please join our Discord community. We are not looking at 1 day or 2 day engagement. Rather, we are looking at lifetime engagement with you all, right? That way, you can be in our Discord community. You can actually help us nurture this community from our side, like how the RocketHub has built this community, right? So that is exactly what we are also trying to do with our customers. And of course, Karan has added us to the Facebook group as well. We'll also try to be omnipresent across different platforms in trying to answer all of your questions. And you can also reach out to us at support@highperformr.ai. Some people have been trying to reach out to us at hello@highperformr.ai. Unfortunately, we don't have that email address. I'm not sure from where you've got that. Just to clear the air, you can reach out to us on support@highperformr.ai. Of course, give us some time. We probably will like to get 6 to 12 hours of time for us to provide that response from our side once we have received the email from you. Last but not the least, any new features that you would like to know about what is going to be coming up, then we will be updating our change log and new feature updates, what's new section in our website. Please keep an eye on it so that you're able to understand what is being worked upon, what is being released from our side, so that you can then kind of benefit out of it. Right? I think that is all I kind of had to present from my side. Thanks, Karan. Thanks for the opportunity.
Awesome. I think if people if they wanted to see some, let's say, generation, AI generation from Highperformr. So if you can, if you can, like, let's say, for 5 minutes showcase them the content that can generate, like live, how it kind of works. Because
Yeah, so
that section is very impressive, for people, like how it kind of does it, correct? And other integrations, and let's say where they can add more members and stuff like that. I think that way they'll be able to understand like how good prompt engineering can be like. So we can just write a tweet.
absolutely. So you see here, this post idea was generated after I kind of clicking on request new ideas, right?
Yeah.
I'll probably just pause it over here for the people to quickly read through, understand how our model has actually generated the post, whether it looks very robotic or whether it looks very personal from a product manager standpoint. If he writes, what is he going to be writing is what it has been actually generated.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it to the people to quickly have a look at it. So I've mentioned product roadmaps. I've mentioned agile methodologies, etc., as part of my AI settings. And exactly those are the places where it tried to kind of, and I also did mention that as part of the leadership role I am in IT services and the space of IT, it has kind of generated these ideas for me, right? This is going to be the other place where it tried to kind of get, and all these are going to be generated from different news sources as well, right? We are going to be having different, I have provided personally different news sources, starting from Lenny's newsletter to product coalition, etc. So it tries to kind of get these post ideas, and I don't think so all the ideas that are going to be generating are going to be super helpful to me. Our intention is to get 1 or 2 ideas on a daily basis for you to then use it, right? Out of the 10 ideas we are going to be generating, we want those 2 ideas to probably resonate well with you, and then you can use that as your next post idea to be published. we are not over ambitious in terms of giving you all 10 ideas to be used, right? Of course, that is humanly not possible, or not even possible from the model side as well. But yes, these are some of the post ideas that have been generated. I can very well use it on a ready-made basis. I can add it to my drafts. This is how easy it is. Once I've added it to my drafts, I can then work upon this particular post if I need to add anything else from my side, right? In terms of I need to expand something about why is product roadmap essential, right? I can talk about that, what impacts it has got. So you can make small subtle edits from your side if you want to, or let's say if you're not happy to an extent where you need something else to be added as well, you can also provide over here as part of, let's say, include. I'll quickly have a look at this section. Include product-led growth as well. I'll probably say to the model to include product-led growth strategy as well to this post. Right, so it'll try to understand my input prompt, and then we'll try to kind of include those elements as well. And you can see here, right? It is also integrating product-led growth strategies can be a game changer by making the product itself the primary driver of customer acquisition, retention, and expansion. Companies can scale more effectively and align their offerings closely with users, right? So, and if you don't want words like game changer to be excluded, or something of that sort, you can still provide prompts over here, and you can do it. That's
someone
how
just asked
powerful
this
it
question
is.
that, let's say, if you don't want to include heavy words, can it make it in a simpler format? Stuff like
Of course, you can ask, pretty similar to, so for you to
similar
generate
to
some
chat.
ideas, you need to go to GPT, you need to get it done, you copy that content. Let's say if you're in a team, you want to get it approved using a Google Doc, and then you need to go ahead and publish it inside LinkedIn. You are essentially using 3 to 4 different tools, juggling between multiple tools. We want to bring everything inside a single tool where you can have the collaboration, where the docs meet the world of GPTs and the social media platforms, right? Everything can be managed inside one single tool. That's essentially what we are looking to do.
Sense.
Yeah, I hope that kind of gave
Yes.
an understanding of how our model kind of works.
Yes. And people had a question that if they want to change, let's say if they want to make it happen via Grok or use Anthropic to generate AI, can they do it? Can they switch between the AI models, or is it planned in the future?
No, so we look for optimized modeling from our side, right? Whether it is going to be based on a long form content where you need speed over the content, or let's say if it is going to be a crisp short kind of a content for the likes of Twitter, or let's say if it is a medium sized content, then we kind of probably would prefer GPT-4o, etc. Right? So we run an optimized modeling from our side to get the right content that the users are going to be expecting. That is what we have got at this point in time. And Ramesh, maybe if you want to add anything from your side.
I mean, Mani has kind of very well summarized that, but you never know in future how things go, right? This is AI world. Every quarter is very different. So do not be surprised if at some point in time we say bring your own model, right? So it used to be bought back in the day. Now we just have to say to bring your own model, right? But having said that, it's important that we optimize for speed versus accuracy versus content per se, right? And it also depends on which plan you are, just to ensure that you get the best.
That makes sense. Thanks, Mani, for the in-depth overview of Highperformr. And I think people are also looking forward to like knowing what's the next steps. What are you guys planning ahead? Let's say this year and let's say upcoming 2 years. And as you recently got funded, you now have the runway for like thinking of product ideas. What is going in Highperformr's office and your whiteboard? So what ideas are you writing out there? If you can let us know, let the community know. So they would be very much excited to take their hands on this.
Right. We have a large vision, right? We have Shri and I, this is the for both of us, this is the only thing that we probably will end up doing for the rest of our careers, as long as it lasts. So it's a long run. What we can plan today is, and what we can execute, AI is changing every day, right, Karan? Like, I don't need to be a preacher there. You have to be on top of every new model that's coming. You have got to give your customers 4.0 if need be. You have to give them, like 2 months, 3 months back, Claude was doing fantastically when it came to content. Now you suddenly see 4.0 smashing it out of the park. So from a roadmap perspective, we will stay very relevant. We will bring in the latest technology. So all the money that we've got, we're going to invest it in R&D, and very well knowing that all the R&D that is being put up right now, maybe 2 years from now, we're going to discard it, right? So that's the pace at which we will grow. But at the end of the day, like I said, the ethos of the company is going to remain the same, which is how can Highperformr help you distribute your content, be the distribution channel, be the last mile of distribution. Let's say for a social media manager, be the last mile of distribution of content on behalf of the organization to the world, right? That's not going to change at all. And we want to continue to do that. At some point in time, we may want to think about how can we provide you leads and say, hey, this could be a potential lead for you, right? It is possible. So all of that is what we are thinking in our whiteboards. But we are early. We just want to get the best. We want to be the best in the industry. We want to be there for a long run. And so we want people to enjoy our products.
Makes sense. Something that caught people's eye and attention on the website was social selling part of it, right? So as you mentioned that making it relevant for people to find the right leads. So how are you doing that? How is that? Of course, that's a unique angle which no social platform has taken on their website yet. They haven't placed it about the things of pipeline optimization or lead generation through social media. So how are you guys planning about that? What are you doing right now to make sure that is an angle where you're going? Because that's a very unique angle
Yeah.
to take
I
on.
wish I'm able to show you screens on which how we can, because that's still being determined. That's what we are going back to the board. But the idea is such, right? Like I said, if we have thinking about, if at the beginning of this, I said we want to flip the funnel and go behind the 95% who aren't ready, who don't have the commercial intent to buy your product right now, we want to execute that in terms of the screen that you see it as well. So what would that mean is, if as a salesperson, right, if my product marketing teams are writing a lot of content, ebooks, there's a lot of things on webinar, there are guides. How can your sales team or case studies talk about that constantly? Because the sales teams can only talk about the solution that the product offers. And if you're doing that over a period of time in different angles, and if the same thing is being done by let's say your sales manager, your marketing manager, your CXO, there is a brand generally being created, and of course the whole content is being distributed in the right way that it should. And if, like I said, if you're going to see consistent engagement happening from a set of people, that they were probably very well interested, and that's the way. Gen AI, given the capability of Gen AI, I think there is a game that we could play to say we could match them in some sense, and we'll see how that expands. But watch the space. That's why I think what's very important, and Mani said, please join our Discord community, write into us. These are the things that we kind of talk about, and we kind of show you the latest that keeps coming in. So please do that. Some fantastic questions as well, right? How is your application? Thank you for answering that, Money. I have seen a few Chrome extension generating comments and thoughtful reposts, but output is absolutely like a Chrome extension can't do the job, right? It's at the end of the day used just for a template. If you want to say, hey, thanks for replying, a Chrome extension will do the job. But if you really have, you need to have an inbox. You need to know which are the ones that you need to respond to, and that it's a lot of intelligence. I don't know. I can't comment if we are going to build that right now and show you, but watch the space, keep joining us for all our webinars. We'll put it out there in all the communities that we know. And yeah, and we're really looking forward to grow this community beyond anything, right? Buy, sell will happen, but this is grow along. We want to build in public, and that's why we are letting out a lot of these things that we are doing. We will, outside of the product, we will even talk, given that eating a humble pie here, but given the amount of experience both Sri and I have in building products, in looking at distributions, talking about digital marketing, and so on and so forth, we will bring all that to the table. So please do join our Discord communities where we discuss all of this.
Like, yep. Oh, great. So I think it's very late for you guys, but I think we have a few questions from the community, which is asked. I think I would just summarize 4 or 5 of them, which are, I mean, the common question which occurred, regular period of time. Number one, we can squash all the other competitors which have went before you in just one, let's say, one phrase, gets a few sentences. Because again, the competitors, I mean, we cannot be any competitors game because we are following a different, unique approach to social than what they are, right? So how would you squash all your competitors that have gone before and keep Highperformr and on one side? So we can just take this phrase, sentence of yours, and just tell people, okay, this is how this Highperformr is different, and you should get on the train right now.
It depends on the purpose on which you're doing. Like, say, if you're a creator, right? If you're an individual business, if you're by yourself, the objective, the way Highperformr can help you is put that we will get you the content strategy right for you, right? Put in your AI settings, and you have your content strategy sorted. It's all about founder social. We will ensure that your founder social is going up, right? That's what you'd be an indie hacker. You're a small business. You're all by yourself. You don't, and Highperformr's got your back. We talk about teams. If you're a slightly larger company, you have a few things going around, your team is expanding. Employee advocacy, we will ensure that, hey, first, your content is being redistributed. More above and beyond that, you have employee advocacy. We will solve for being the last mile for your social media manager to ensure that he or she is really successful in more than generating content, in putting up the content of your organization to the world. And that's a hard problem, right? Today, every social media manager, we've spoken to over 60 social media managers even before coming to build this up, and they're all exactly like what you have all discussed, right? Some of it is, I don't get my founders time to write. I have it everything in Excel, in spreadsheets. I cannot collaborate. I have to go after my founder on WhatsApp or email. That collaboration, you don't have to worry about it. Click of a button. Okay, let me be very open. I can leak this out for you. We're going to come out with a lot more integrations. Think of it, you have a Slack notification as a team coming up, your post is ready to go, plunk, yes, say okay, and it's so like that's how modern we will be. And it's hard for anyone else to do this at the speed at which we are doing as well, right? The speed of execution also matters, where at some places we are playing catch up, but on a lot of areas we are being innovative from a mindset perspective, right? We are not using social to be uh, just from a FOMO perspective, right? There's a purpose to being available on social media. Being socially present is how can you generate businesses. The business outcome is what we have in mind for everyone, right? So these are the two ways. I think we really think we have a game on.
Yeah, no, makes sense. No one gets funded just because of being a scheduling tool. You guys really have something which is very unique, to offer, which is very good, amazing. So I think one more question was about the API, right? I think that question is very much in concern due to the Elon Musk's thing on X and what's going on. Is the API thing, if you want to clarify about API costs and something, if do they have to connect their own API or stuff like how does it work? Because that was a question coming in, and I think it's
So
just
Elon
easy to
Musk
answer.
makes it very clear: you pay us money and you can do whatever you want. We respect his position,
Yeah.
and API is connected. So don't worry. Your privacy is Twitter's privacy is as good as connecting your handle on Highperformr as well. So it's an opt-in. You literally get authorized by LinkedIn. You're safe, and there is nothing for you to worry.
And I think carousels, there was the many questions asked about the carousels due to Super Grow, which was again launched on RocketHub like very 7 to 8 months back.
Uh-huh.
They had the carousels theme. So I think what you answered was correct, that anyone can upload the PDFs and that can be published as a carousel. But
Yep.
Highperformr isn't focusing on being a carousel maker. It's not a carousel maker. It's just facilitating your published PDFs into a carousel that can be published. That's it.
Can I just
Correct?
say hashtag watch the space?
Yeah,
It
I know. Classified.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
makes sense.
like I said, Karan, right? In a lot of areas, we could play catch up, but it's how innovative that we can get. We want to put our minds to ensure that it's the easiest way to do it. So yeah, we will have all of those features. It's just a matter of time. Mind you, I just want to say this not as a matter of pride or have a chip on my shoulder. All that you're seeing, all that what Mani showed you has just been built in less than 3 months. So, you can imagine what 3 months from now could be as well. We're a small team. We want to execute really fast.
So I've seen the product. I think when we met the team in January, and then now it's been 6 months, five
Yeah.
months. It's been transformed. So I think if you guys are seeing it right now, it's a very advanced version, and they would just keep growing. Another thing which I wanted to like have the question about is the CRM aspect of it, right? I think many people had. I think we saw something called a CRM, and you guys are working on it. That's upcoming. So what is that about? Can you just like have one or two lines about it?
Yeah, I can give you right. CRM is like a coliseum, Karan, right? The generation of myself and then whoever used initially, it was about calling. Then came email. So email, you took the CRM route for using by using emails and then calling. Tools like Outreach and Gong did extremely well because they went in that direction and automating a lot of stuff for you. And then marketing automation, obviously, it's so many of them. We are taking a different route of social because social has the ability to give you the first party data. I know exactly when Karan has from which university he's going to pass out, or I know exactly when he's launching a new deal on RocketHub. I can reach out to Karan when I think it's the right time. So we think there's a lot of potential and getting this first party data, and there's nothing snooping out here, right? It's the user who's putting up the data. We are just figuring out a way to get that. And let's imagine your account book, imagine your AEs or your sales guys getting to know that, hey, Karan is launching a new product on RocketHub and has the ability to reach out instantly. How magical would that be? So that's what we're trying to build, right? It's internally, I have been in companies, every company uses CRM as their internal sales tracking. We want to get that out and put the customer in front and let them run and be. It's a very tall claim. We want to live up to the expectation, and so we will go there over a period of time.
Makes sense. Awesome. I think that's a good answer. So yeah, that's amazing. I think community loves this. And when we go and tell them that all of this has been discussed, when they watch the replay, many people are going to watch the replay, then I think they would have a lot more questions and of course a lot more consideration for the product, because there are many things which weren't discussed when we even wrote on the page or we discussed in the live session, because there are many things which we don't know. So I think this thing opens up a lot of angles in which we can let people know about Highperformr. And of course, the sales angle is the number one, targeting the 95%, and collaboration aspect of the analytics aspect of it. Because if you don't know your numbers, then you won't be able to even grow your social profiles. So I think that's a good thing.
Yep.
Good. So everyone in the audience, we have few more minutes before we get the team go. So do add your questions in the Q&A box. We are open for questions now, completely open for questions. We just give you 2 more minutes. Just go ahead and pop in your questions in the Q&A box. In the meanwhile, let's see what else we have got. Because people, there was a huge engagement which we got on the groups all along, because that's there's something very unique which you have, how you approached the product as. Let me see if there's something else I can get to. Otherwise, people, you have time to post your questions. Just go ahead. Let's see. Yeah, about the images, right? I think that's also in the roadmap. So let's say people are posting something on Twitter or LinkedIn, would they be able to even generate the images?
Not at the moment. If you're talking about AI generation images, no, we're concentrating on getting the text right, one thing at a time. Obviously, once we've cracked it, or we're almost 90% there, we'll get on. It's a matter of time, and it's like, if you're not going to do it, then we will lose out. So definitely coming in.
Makes sense. All right. Okay, awesome. Cool. So guys, go ahead and grab the deal from RocketHub right now. It's going live. And Ramesh,
Yeah,
Team
I think this is
Money.
a once in a lifetime deal, literally.
Yep. Yeah.
Because the idea while building Hyperformr was not to say I want to do a lifetime deal and get it. We have a fantastic platform in RocketHub which facilitates this, and we said, okay, hey Karan, can we join hands to do this? So this is literally a lifetime deal. I don't know how
So
often
you
this.
guys are going to pick like the early adopters, very, very early adopters, and then when Hyperformr goes and does $1 million deals with enterprises, you would think, oh God, that's amazing. I got in very, very early. So Ramesh, thank you so much,
Right.
Mani. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
the
so much.
demo, and all the team members who are here from Hyperformr. Before you leave, Ramesh, Mani, you have any final statements for RocketHub team, RocketHub community, to convey something?
Go grab the deal right now.
Perfect. That
Right.
summarizes. So it's like I'm touching a button that summarizes the whole session. All right. Awesome. Cool.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think cost-wise, Chetan, I think look, what you're getting right now is a steal, because if you go and look at any other social media platform which is focusing on quality, focusing on a long-term vision, you won't find like any other company which is offering the deal right now, because their cost per seat is a lot more than what you're seeing right now, right? So you
That's
would
very well
be
said.
thinking like, this is like, if you compare per seat cost or the lifetime cost for this. All right, so if you can get in early, get in right now, and then we'll see you on the other side.
Absolutely. Cheers, guys.
Okay.
See you.
Thanks, Ramesh.
Bye.
Good night, and
Good night.
see you. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.